Last time we discussed about the anatomy of conjunctiva, classification of conjunctiva and acute mucopurulent conjunctivitis, membranous conjunctivitis and pseudomembranous conjunctivitis. Okay. Anybody tell about the anatomy of conjunctiva? How many parts are there in the conjunctiva? Conjunctiva is basically two parts, palpebral part and bulbar part, and third one is the fornix, that is the connecting part. So, from here to here, this is the under surface of the lid, and here in the lower lid up to this level. This green color, it is the palpebral conjunctiva. Palpebral conjunctiva is again divided into three parts, and from here to here is the marginal, and this one is the tarsal, and from here to here is the orbital part. And bulbar conjunctiva. Bulbar conjunctiva is covered the anterior surface of the eyeball. This yellow line is from here to here, and here from here to here. And this wavy line is the fornix. There are four fornix, superior fornix, inferior fornix, medial fornix and lateral fornix. So, let us come to the point. Today we talk about the angular conjunctivitis. This is a type of chronic conjunctivitis. Angular conjunctivitis is also called the simple chronic conjunctivitis. It is caused by the Moraxillo-Oxenfeld bacilli. It is a diplobacillary. So, it is also called diplobacillary conjunctivitis. Then source of infection is the infection is spread from nasal cavity to eye, and the mode of infection nasal cavity to eye with contaminated fingers and handkerchief. Then pathophysiology of the angular conjunctivitis. Angular conjunctivitis is caused by the Moraxillo-Oxenfeld bacilli, and this bacilli produce the proteolytic enzyme. This proteolytic enzyme collects at the angle by the action of the tears, and it causes the macerations of the conjunctival epithelium, lid margin and skin near the lateral canthus. And as usual, other kind of conjunctivitis, it also having the vascular response and a mild grade of the chronic inflammation. So, symptoms are very less in this type of conjunctivitis. Only irritation and discomfort is the present, and history of this is the typical sign. His collection of dirty white foamy discharge. This is present only in the angle, and redness is also present in the angle of the anterior chamber. This is the angle of anterior chamber. Okay. Medial canthus. This is medial canthus, and lateral side is the lateral canthus. So, congestion is present in the only this part. That is why it is also called the angle conjunctivitis, only involves the angle of the eye, medial angle. And signs in this type of conjunctivitis, hyperemia of the bulbar conjunctiva present only in the near the medial canthus. Hyperemia is not present in the other part of the conjunctiva. Okay. And lid margin is also involved nearby the near canthus, and skin is also affected, and there is excoriation of the skin is present, and sometimes mucopurulent discharge are present and collected in this part, angle of the anterior chamber. Okay. So, its complications, its name suggests angular conjunctivitis, so it also affects the surrounding structures. When it affects the lid, it is called blepharitis. What is blepharitis? What is blepharitis? Blepharitis is the inflammation of lid margin, that is called blepharitis. And other complication is the marginal catarrhal corneal ulcer. In this type of corneal ulcer, only peripheral part of the cornea is involved. Then treatment. Treatment is the personal hygiene and treat the nasal cause. What is the disease in the present in the nasal cavity, that should be treated. And oxytetracycline ointments are given 3 to 4 times for 10 to 14 days. And zinc lotion at a daytime and zinc oxide ointment is given at the bedtime for astringent effect. Then we come to the chlamydial conjunctivitis. Chlamydia is the, initially it was kept in between the bacteria and virus, but later on it is kept in the family bacterium, that is Chlamydiaceae. In Chlamydiaceae there are genera, that is the Chlamydia, and this Chlamydia genera has 3 species. First one is the Chlamydia trachomatis or trick agent called, and second one is Chlamydia lymphogranulomatis, and the third one is the Chlamydia psittacosis. Chlamydia psittacosis only affect the animals, it does not affect the human being. But Chlamydia trachomatis, it affects the human being and it has 11 serotypes. So, serotype A, B, BA and C, it affects the endemic form of trachoma, that is called trachoma. And serotype D and K, from D to K, it is called paratrachoma. It causes inclusion conjunctivitis. In adult, it causes adult inclusion conjunctivitis, and in neonates, it causes neonatal inclusion conjunctivitis. And spread is from genital to eye, and trachoma is spread from the discharge of the patients from one patient to another human beings through contaminated fingers, contaminated towels, beddings, or when we touch the household thing where patient is touched, then it directly affect the other human beings. And eye to eye contaminate, when we touch the eyes and touch the other side, then it also is spread by this way. And the second one is the Chlamydia lymphogranulomatis. It's a serotype only L1, L2 and L3. These are affected the eye, and it causes lymphogranuloma venereum conjunctivitis, and it is also affected from genital infection, genital to eye, in females suffering from cervicitis and male urethritis. So, these are all about the classification of chlamydia. Then chlamydia is the Jones classification. It is also classified according to the signs and symptoms and causes blindness. So, it is divided into 3 groups. First is the first class, causes blinding trachoma. It is occur in the hyperendemic form of trachoma. It is epidemically spread in a large scale, and the serotype responsible for this infection is the A, B, BA and C, and this is associated, if only trachomatous infection, then signs and symptoms are very less, unless there is secondary bacterial infection occur, and after secondary bacterial infection occur, its symptoms are more or less similar to the acute mucopurulent conjunctivitis and severe, and it is spread from discharge of the patient to other patient. And it is the second most common cause of blindness initially after the cataract. Then non-blinding trachoma. This is also caused the serotype A, B, B and C trachomatis, but it is not associated with the secondary bacterial infection, and this one is associated with secondary bacterial infection. And class 3, this is the paratrachoma. Paratrachoma is caused by the serotype D2K. It is spread from genital to eye and it causes inclusion conjunctivitis. Inclusion conjunctivitis in adults and ophthalmia neonatorum in the newborn child before 30 days. Then trachoma. Trachoma is a type of keratoconjunctivitis. Why keratoconjunctivitis? Initially it affects the conjunctiva, but simultaneously it also affects the cornea. That's why it is called keratoconjunctivitis. And here mixed follicular response and papillary response of the conjunctival tissues is present, and this is the preventable blindness, one of the most common cause of the preventable blindness. What are the other preventable blindness? Preventable diseases that causes blindness, what are that? Vitamin A deficiency, that is prevented, okay. Corneal blindness, ulcer. So, etiology of the trachoma. Now, till date it is eradicated. Now only scattered form of one or two disease you find out anywhere. Otherwise, you are not able to see any kind of trachoma patient now. And some old patients having the sequelae, off and on, you have to see that patients. So, causative organism is the Chlamydia trachomatis and the lymphogranuloma venereum. Here 11 serotypes, one from A to K is available that causes infection. Source of infection is conjunctival discharge that is spread from eye to eye, and superimposed secondary bacterial infection that causes the severity of the disease, increase the production of discharge and more spread of the disease. Then mode of infection, direct mode of infection may be waterborne, airborne, and second one is vector transmission by fly, and material transfer through contaminated fingers, handkerchiefs and beddings, or sharing same dress from other person, t-shirt, shirt, or using same towel, that also is spread disease from one person to other. Then predisposing factors, it commonly affect the infancy and the childhood, but it occur in any age group, no age is born. Then sex, female are more prone, and the race is Jew communities are more prone to trachoma infection, and climate, dusty, dry weather are aggravating factor, and that causes the spread of disease. And environmental exposure, environmental dust, irritants, smoke and sunlight, this also causes the spread of infection. And low socioeconomic status, poor are living in the unhygienic and low socioeconomic status, are overcrowding, that also aggravate the infections. So here incubation period is the 5 to 20 days. It is mostly insidious in onset. There is no rapid onset. And the clinical pictures are trachoma is mild and symptomless unless there is the secondary bacterial infection occur. If secondary bacterial infection occur, then there is features are typical to the acute mucopurulent conjunctivitis. So natural history, it Trachoma affect the in the first decade of life, 1 year to 10 years. This is the first decade. Then it continues, slow progresses and becomes inactive in the second decade, but sequelae occurs in the 20 years of the disease. After, initially sequelae is not present, after 20 years, then its a peak incidence of blindness is occur in the 4th to 5th decade of life, means 31 to 40 and 51 to 41 to 50 years age group. That is the 4th and 5th decade. Then symptoms. Symptoms are very minimal unless the secondary bacterial infection occur. Mild foreign body sensation, occasional lacrimation and stickiness of the lid margin and scanty mucoid discharge is present. And if secondary bacterial infection occur, then symptoms already I have taught you, acute mucopurulent conjunctivitis, that is the same. Then conjunctival sign and corneal sign. In conjunctival sign, mostly conjunctiva, palpebral conjunctiva is involved in upper tarsal conjunctiva and the fornix of the conjunctiva. And the conjunctival follicles are present. What is congestion? Congestion means engorgement of the blood vessels, congested blood vessels, that causes foreign body sensation and leakage of the lymphoma of nuclear cells and lymphocytes and materials that causes inflammation and exudates. And conjunctival follicles, follicles are round sago round shape follicles, and papillary hyperplasia, this is the hypertrophy of the conjunctival epithelium. Then there is the conjunctival scarring is present and concretions. Concretions is also present in the mostly in the upper palpebral conjunctiva. And corneal signs, superficial keratitis. What is keratitis? Inflammation of the cornea, that is called keratitis. And Herbert's follicles. Follicles present in the conjunctival form in the conjunctiva, but in case of the cornea, follicles present at the limbus, that is called Herbert's follicles. And pannus, pannus is the vascularization, vessels encroaches the stroma of the cornea and it remains between the epithelium and Bowman's membrane and stroma of the cornea. Then corneal ulcer. Then Herbert's pit. Herbert's pit are when in the regressive stage, these Herbert's follicles are healed and remains there some white dots, black dots like a pitted spot, that is called Herbert's pit. And a corneal opacity. When corneal ulcer is healed, it left opacity in the cornea, that is corneal opacity. So, these are the follicles, round body, and these vessels are coming from the bulbar conjunctiva to the limbus. These are called infiltrations and pannus when it encroaches the cornea and it rests between the stroma and basement membrane. And here this is the limbus, where is the cornea and sclera and conjunctiva are meeting point. This meeting point is called limbus. Herbert's follicles are present in here, and when it regressed, then it looks present as a scarring form, that is called Herbert's pit. Then when it affects the cornea, then causes corneal ulcer and it causes the pupillary area, then it causes blindness. So, conjunctival follicles, structure of the follicles. Conjunctival follicles are look like boiled sago grains like appearance, and it is mostly present in the upper tarsal conjunctiva, and it also present in the bulbar conjunctiva, and this is the sign to diagnose the trachoma. If follicles are present in conjunctiva as well as bulbar conjunctiva, then it is the pathognomonic of trachoma, and it can be diagnosed only on the clinical examination. Then structure of this follicles, center part of the follicles are mononuclear histiocytes, few lymphocytes and large multinucleated cells are present, that is called Leber cells. This is the also pathognomonic sign of the trachoma. And cortical part, there is a zone of lymphocytes, that zone of lymphocytes present, that showing the active proliferation. Then blood vessels are present in the most peripheral part, and the signs of necrosis is also present. Here there are multinucleated cells and lymphocytes are present and collected. These are called Leber cells, and these are, when we invert the lid margin, then we see the follicles here. So follicles are present in the upper tarsal conjunctiva, that's why it is special type of follicular conjunctivitis. And this is the diagnostic point. If Leber cells are present and signs of necrosis is present, that is trachoma. Then conjunctival papillae. Papillae are the hypertrophy of the conjunctival epithelium, that are raised and flat topped, and it is also present in the, mainly present in the tarsal conjunctiva of the upper lid. And central core, there is the numerous dilated blood vessels surrounded by lymphocytes, which is covered by the hypertrophic epithelium, that is called conjunctival papillae. These are the papillae. It is also present in upper palpebral conjunctiva. Then conjunctival scarring. It is also present in the upper palpebral conjunctiva. This scar is present in the irregular or star-shaped or linear. That is called especially Earl's line. It is present in the sulcus subtarsalis. Here some features. This is conjunctival scarring. This is conjunctival scarring. Here this one is the scarring. It is called, when it is present, it is due to the sequelae of trachoma, and this is important sign of trachoma. Then concretions. These are concretions. See this yellow spots? This is due to the accumulations of the epithelial dead tissues. These epithelial dead cells are present and inspissated mucus in the depression, and this mucus collected in the depression, that is called the glands of Henle. Then when it affects the cornea, it causes superficial keratitis in the upper part. Then trachoma is also present in the progressive form and regressive form. So in progressive trachoma, there is progressive infiltrations of the cornea is present. These are vessels which encroaches the cornea, that is called pannus, and this is the aggressive stage, and this one is the regressive stage. Here vessels are present here, and infiltrations are also present up to the limbus, but in regressive stage vessels are end here. Vessels are not more ahead. It extends short distance beyond the area of infiltration, but in active stage infiltration and vessels are present in the same level. Then corneal opacity. Corneal opacity, it is present only in the upper part, but when it involves the pupillary part, it causes corneal opacity and blindness. Then Herbert's follicles. These are the Herbert's follicles. Follicles present at limbus. These are called Herbert's follicles. And this black dot like spot, oval, circular and brown, this one and this one, these are the healed stage of the Herbert's follicle, that is called Herbert's pits. It is present in the limbus area. Then classification of the trachoma. Trachoma is classified into 4 stages. Stage 1, it is also called incipient trachoma, and in this stage only hyperemia of the conjunctiva and immature follicles are present. Then stage 2, it is also called established trachoma. Here multiple follicles, papillae and progressive pannus are present. Then stage 3 is called cicatrizing trachoma. Here obvious scarring. First I saw the corneal scar, that is called Earth line, that is present in this stage, and stage 4 is also called healed trachoma. In this case disease is cured but sequelae are present. Sequelae are present like trichiasis, symblepharon or entropion. These are the sequelae or corneal opacity. So these are scoring, these are follicles, and these are hypertrophied papillae, and here misdirected eyelaces, that is called trichiasis, and here cornea is involved, superficial keratitis. Then according to the WHO classification, it is called FISTO. F for trachomatous inflammation follicular. Here at least it is present in the active stage, and at least more than 5 follicles are present in the palpebral conjunctiva. Then I means trachomatous inflammation intense. Here pronounced inflammatory thickening of the palpebral conjunctiva, and half of normal deep dorsal vessels are also involved. More than half of the dorsal vessels are involved in this case. And S for trachomatous scarring. Here presence of scarring in the dorsal conjunctiva, and it is seen as a white sheet or sheets of fibrosis. Then trachomatous trichiasis. Trichiasis means misdirected eyelaces. Here at least one eyelace is present which rubs the cornea, or there is the history of epilation of the trichiasis. Evidence of recently removed trichiasis is also occur in this group of trachomatous trichiasis. Then 5 part is the O, means corneal opacity. Here corneal opacity present in the pupillar area, and if the pupillary area corneal opacity causes, it causes blindness, and if it is faint then causes visual impairment, and when opacity is dense, that is causes blindness, and treatment is the full thickness penetrating keratoplasty. Then sequelae. Sequelae means complications. What are the complications present in the trachoma? So lead there is present trichiasis. Trichiasis means, you understand. Then entropion means interning of the eyelid margin, and tylosis means thickening of lid margin, and ptosis means drooping of the eyelid, and madrosis means falling of the eyelashes and hairs of eyebrows. and the temporal part. This is called medrosis. Then conjunctiva, there is concretions are present, pseudocysts are present, xerocysts are present, and a symblepharon. What is symblepharon? When the palpebral conjunctiva and the bulbar conjunctiva, there is adhesion occur due to trachoma or any injury or burns, that is called symblepharon. Then corneal complication. Corneal complication, most common complication is the corneal opacity. When corneal pressure is more and the thinning of the cornea occur, there is protrusion of the cornea, that is called ectasia of the cornea, or it is also called anterior staphyloma. Xerosis, xerosis means dry eye. And total corneal pannus. Total corneal pannus means whole of the cornea is vascularized. And other complications is it affects the surrounding structures, it affects the lacrimal sac and causes chronic dacryocystitis, and when it affects the lacrimal gland, it causes chronic dacryoadenitis, that is the inflammation of lacrimal gland. So these are the sequelae. Then diagnosis. Trachoma is diagnosed by clinical examination. At least two sets of findings are present, which I already told about the classification of the trachoma. These are the conjunctival follicles are papillae, pannus, epithelial keratitis near the superior limbus, and signs and sequelae of cicatrization. At least two sets are present, then we clinically diagnose the patient is suffering from trachoma, and other laboratory investigations are only for academic purpose to keep the record. Conjunctival cytology is done, and the detection of inclusion body. Inclusion body is the infective form in case of trachoma. It is stained by Giemsa stain, iodine stain, and ELISA test for diagnose to assess the chlamydial antigens, PCR, and isolation and serotyping of the organism. These are only for academic purpose. Then chlamydia trachomatis is differentiated from the other types of follicular conjunctivitis, which causes which are having follicles. So according to the follicular hypertrophy, it is differentiated from the acute adenoviral follicular conjunctivitis. It is also called epidemic keratoconjunctivitis because it occurs in the epidemic forms. And here in case of trachoma, follicles are present in the conjunctiva and the fornix of the upper lid only. But in case of the adenoviral follicular conjunctivitis, you can see it affects the lower palpebral conjunctiva and follicles. And pannus and papillae are present, here absent, and the laboratory diagnosis of trachoma to differentiate the trachoma from acute adenoviral conjunctivitis. Then trachoma is also differentiated from the features of predominantly papillary hypertrophy. Papillary hypertrophy is also present in case of the spring catarrh. That is the most common cause, most common type of allergic conjunctivitis. It is mostly occur in the summer season. Here papillae is large in size and its appearance is like the cobblestone appearance. And pH of the tears in case of the spring catarrh is alkaline, and pH of the trachoma is acidic, and the follicles and pannus are present, but in this case follicles and pannus are absent, but hypertrophy is more marked in this condition, that is called typical cobblestone appearance. And discharge is ropey In spring catarrh, discharge is ropey, and in case of the trachoma, discharge is mucopurulent because of secondary bacterial infections. So management, the management part of the trachoma is treated according to its stage. In active form of trachoma, we give the topical therapy and a systemic therapy. In topical therapy, 1% of tetracycline and 1% of erythromycin ointments. It is given 4 times a day for 6 weeks. And tetracycline erythromycin, it is given in systemic form 250 milligram QID orally for 4 weeks, and the doxycycline is given 100 milligram BD, 100 milligram BD for 4 weeks, and azithromycin are given in only single dose. Then when patient is having the severe trachomatis infection, then in that case, if mild form, then only topical is sufficient, if severe, then systemic, and if it is more than severe condition, then combined therapy are given. Then we treat the sequelae, sequelae is also treated. So if concretions are present, then these concretions are removed by the help of the hypodermic needle under topical anesthesia, and the trichiasis is present, it is treated by epilation or electrolysis of the trichiasis, and if entropion is present, then surgery of the entropion is done, and lubricating eye drops are given in case of xerosis. So prophylaxis, what is the prophylaxis? Hygiene is maintained. If early conjunctivitis is treated, that is the better, and blanket therapy is given in epidemic form. Patient is suffering or not, but all peoples are given 1% tetracycline ointment BD for 5 days in a month for 5 days in a month for 6 months. This is blanket therapy. And management, there is like other control program. So this control program is named as SAFE, strategy for control of trachoma blindness program, and this is S for surgery, surgery to correct the deformity of the eyelid and prevent the blindness. A for antibiotics to treat the acute infection and community control, and F for facial hygiene, and E for environmental changes. So it is called SAFE strategy. Then adult inclusion conjunctivitis. This is the other forms of chlamydial infection caused by serotype D to K, and it is called by chlamydia. Which organism? Trachoma is called by Chlamydia trachomatis, and it is called by Chlamydia lymphogranulomatous, and it is also a follicular conjunctivitis, and if secondary bacterial infection occur, then mucopurulent discharge is present, and it is most common in the person who are sexually active in the young age groups, and males are suffering from urethritis and females are suffering from cervicitis. And Chlamydia trachomatis, this is the serotype club D2K. This causes inclusion, adult inclusion conjunctivitis. So and mode of transmission is the contaminated fingers, contaminated water of the swimming pools. That's why inclusion conjunctivitis is also called swimming pool conjunctivitis. Then incubation period. Incubation period is the 4 to 12 days. Symptoms are only ocular discomfort, foreign body sensation, mild photophobia and mucopurulent discharge. Signs, conjunctival hyperemia and marked in the fornix. Fornix is more marked. And acute follicular hypertrophy, and it is more common in the lower palpebral conjunctiva, but in trachoma that involved in the upper palpebral conjunctiva. And the superficial keratitis, upper part of the cornea is involved, and superior micropannus is sometimes present, but pannus is more marked in trachoma. And the preauricular lymphadenopathy is also present. Treatment is the same. Topical the therapy is given, tetracycline ointments are given, QID for 6 weeks, and systemic therapy is very important. It is given tetracycline 250 milligram, 250 milligram QID for 3 to 4 weeks, erythromycin 250 milligram 4 times a day for 3 to 4 weeks, and the doxycycline is given in 100 milligram twice a day for 1 to 2 weeks, then 200 milligram weekly for 3 weeks. And azithromycin, it is given in the single dose. Then we come to the viral conjunctivitis. Viral conjunctivitis is caused by virus. It is a viral conjunctivitis when it affects the cornea as well as conjunctiva. Then it is called viral keratoconjunctivitis. And this is type of keratoconjunctivitis, and this viral conjunctivitis, first one is the adenoviral conjunctivitis, then herpes simplex keratoconjunctivitis, herpes zoster conjunctivitis, pox virus conjunctivitis, myxovirus conjunctivitis, paramyxovirus conjunctivitis and arbovirus conjunctivitis. Then according to the clinical features, this viral conjunctivitis is again divided into 3 groups. First one is the acute serous conjunctivitis, acute hemorrhagic conjunctivitis and acute follicular conjunctivitis according to clinical features. Then we come to the acute serous conjunctivitis. So acute serous conjunctivitis is a mild form of conjunctivitis. Here follicular response is less, and clinical features are also mild, as its name suggests. Mild degree of congestion, watery discharge is present, and boggy swelling of the conjunctival mucosa, that is called chemosis of the conjunctiva. And in acute serous conjunctivitis, it is in very mild and it self-limiting disease. If not treated, it automatically resolve. But in case of, to prevent the secondary bacterial infection, we give the broad spectrum antibiotic eye drops 3 times a day for 7 days. It is self-limiting disease. Then acute hemorrhagic conjunctivitis, its name suggests hemorrhage is multiple hemorrhages are present and conjunctival hyperemia is present. Hyperemia means congested blood vessels and hemorrhage is the bleeding, and a mild follicular hyperplasia. In acute serous conjunctivitis viral, there is follicular response is very less, but in this condition follicular response is more as compared to the acute serous conjunctivitis, and it is caused by the picorna virus and it is transmitted by direct hand to eye contact. Its incubation period is 1 to 2 days. Symptoms are pain, redness, watering, mild photophobia, transient blurring of the vision and lid swelling. Then signs of the acute hemorrhagic conjunctivitis. In acute hemorrhagic conjunctivitis, there is conjunctival congestion is present, first congestion, then chemosis, then multiple hemorrhages are present in the bulbar conjunctiva, and mild follicular hyperplasia is also present, lead edema is present, and pre-auricular lymphadenopathy is also present. And if cornea is involved, then fine epithelial keratitis is present. Then this disease is also self-limiting. It automatically resolves in the course of 5 to 7 days. No treatment is required, but to prevent the secondary bacterial infection, we give the broad spectrum antibiotic eye drops. Then third one is the follicular conjunctivitis. In follicular conjunctivitis, here follicles are formed. Follicles are present, conjunctival hyperemia is present, and discharge is present. And these follicles are also resemble the boiled sago grains that present in case of trachoma. We have already described its structure. It is tiny, white, translucent, and a rounded swelling, and the diameter is 1 to 2 millimeter in diameter. Then why these follicles are formed? These follicles are formed due to localized aggregations of the lymphocyte in the adenine layer of the conjunctiva. And adenine layer of the conjunctiva is the which layer? Middle layer. Middle layer of the 3 layers are present in the conjunctiva: epithelial, adenine layer, and third one is the fibrous layer. Then type of the follicular conjunctivitis. Here this follicular conjunctivitis is again divided into 3 groups according to the presence of follicles: acute follicular conjunctivitis, chronic follicular conjunctivitis, and special types of follicular conjunctivitis, that is called trachoma. We have already taught and discussed about it. Then acute follicular conjunctivitis. Acute follicular conjunctivitis is also called acute catarrhal conjunctivitis. It is more marked in the lower fornix, more marked in the lower fornix and lower palpebral conjunctiva, and follicular hypertrophy is present. But in case of trachoma, these all features are present only in the upper palpebral conjunctiva. These are follicles present in the lower fornix and the lower palpebral conjunctiva. Symptoms are same: redness, watering, and mucoid discharge is present. Mild photophobia is present. If patient is go in the sunlight, feeling discomfort, and there is foreign body sensation. Signs: conjunctival hyperemia is present. Multiple. Its name suggests follicles, so multiple follicles are present, and more prominent in the lower lid and the lower fornix. Then according to the etiology, follicular conjunctivitis is again divided into these 5 groups: adult inclusion conjunctivitis, epidemic keratoconjunctivitis, pharyngoconjunctival fever, Newcastle conjunctivitis, and acute herpetic conjunctivitis according to the causative organisms. So we discuss about the epidemic keratoconjunctivitis. It is called EKC. It is a type of acute follicular conjunctivitis, and a superficial punctate keratitis is also present, and it is occur in the epidemic form. So that's why it is also called epidemic keratoconjunctivitis, and its other name is adenovirus follicular conjunctivitis, and serotype affect adenovirus 8 to 9 and is spread through direct contaminated fingers, solutions or tonometries. Then clinical pictures. Clinical pictures, incubation period is 8 days and virus sets off 2 to 3 weeks. Clinical stages. It has 5 clinical stages: acute of serous conjunctivitis, acute follicular conjunctivitis, acute pseudomembranous conjunctivitis. In this stage, pseudomembrane is formed. Then SPK means corneal involvement, superficial punctate keratitis, that is called. And in all stages, pre-auricular lymphadenopathy is also present. Treatment is supportive treatment is given. Pharyngoconjunctival fever, these are signs symptoms are same other types of conjunctivitis, and it is caused by the adenovirus subtype 3 and 7, and in this case pharyngitis is also present. That's why it is called pharyngoconjunctival fever, and the treatment is supportive. Then nasal new costal conjunctivitis, it is a very rare type of conjunctivitis. Then acute herpetic conjunctivitis, it is caused by the herpes simplex virus type 1 and is spread by kissing or any close personal contacts. And acute herpetic conjunctivitis mainly affects the children and adolescent. Then acute herpetic conjunctivitis, it is usually unilateral. One side is involved. Incubation period is 3 to 10 days, and it can be occur in the two forms, typical and atypical forms. Okay. In typical form, associated with the vascular lesions of the face and the lids, and atypical form, all features are same, but vascular eruptions of the skin and the face is skin of face and lid is absent, corneal involvement is present, and pre-auricular lymphadenopathy is also present. So this is the chronic follicular conjunctivitis. It is caused by the benign folliculosis. Children are most commonly affected. Toxic agents are cellular debris in the molluscum contagiosum, and prolonged use of pilocarpine, IDU and adrenaline, and it is less common. Then next one is the ophthalmia neonatorum. So ophthalmia neonatorum we discuss next time. Ophthalmia neonatorum and other allergic conjunctivitis and degeneration of conjunctivas. Okay. So ophthalmia neonatorum mostly affect the children below 30 days, and here if water discharge is present first week of life, it is called ophthalmia neonatorum, and according to the mode of infection, it affects in the before birth and during birth and after. Before birth infected lichar amnii, and during birth infected birth canal, and after birth during the first bath of the newborn from soiled cloths and finger and infected lochia. Okay. So causative organism, according to the causative organism, pathophysiology and the rest we discuss next time. Okay. So class is over here.